Our task is to mix the butter and flour well into crumbs. The dough has formed, I'm cutting off the peel, the so-called skin. Traditionally, quiche is baked in a round form. With the help of a fork, we prick the dough to avoid it puffing up. Salt won't go bad, but it shouldn't be consumed as food. We transfer the fried gruzinka onto a sieve to drain the excess fat. So friends, this is the kind of beauty we end up with. I have a complete picture now. This is worth trying. Friends, I greet you all. Today on our channel, we have a recipe from French cuisine. Namely, as you have already understood from the preview, Quiche Lorraine. Let's check the subscription, hit the like button, and let's get started. In a blender bowl, add 220 grams of flour, then half a teaspoon of salt, and 125 grams of well-chilled butter. Our task is to blend the butter and flour into crumbs really well. That's why we used well-chilled butter. This is the type of crumb we got. And why do I use a blender instead of doing this by hand? Because the warmth of your hands will melt the butter even more. And we don't want that. So we transfer it to a bowl and add 1 egg. Now I put on a glove and we'll mix it quickly but very intensively until the dough is formed into a ball. The dough has formed and it turned out to be quite elastic. I'm putting it in the fridge for 20 minutes now. While the dough is resting, we'll do a bit of work with our hands. This is smoked brisket. Now my task is to cut it into medium cubes about 1/2 centimeter by 1/2 centimeter. I'm trimming off the rind, the so-called skin. Also, I see there are some little ribs here. I'll trim those off too. I won't throw them away. I'll make a broth for pea soup with smoked meats. First, we slice it lengthwise like this. Now we cut it into strips and then into cubes. The cube comes out even and nice. That's exactly how I want to see it in the final dish. Let's set the brisket aside. Grater. Cheese. By the way, write in the comments which cheese is traditionally used in Quiche Lorraine, and I'll use our Russian cheese, which melts well. Grate it on a coarse grater. Traditional quiche is baked in a round dish, and the heat-resistant Bardzum dish from Pasha Bakshi is perfect for this. Glass baking dishes like Bardzum never get old. With proper care, glass retains its original luster, remains residue-free, and doesn't become cloudy, making it very durable. We roll out the dough to a thickness of 1/2 centimeter. To transfer the dough to the dish, we need to wrap it around the rolling pin. We need to place the dough so that it fits tightly in the dish, including in the corners. Next, we take a small knife and cut off all the excess. Using a fork, we prick the dough to prevent it from puffing up. After that, we take parchment paper, crumple it well, and spread it on top of the dough. Just like that. And we need to make a weight to make sure the dough stays flat. For this, we use salt, spread it evenly, and by the way, you can keep using this salt for moments like this, when you need to press something down. The salt won't go bad, but you shouldn't use it for food. We put it in the oven for 15 minutes at 180 degrees top and bottom heat. We need to dry the dough a little so that the wet filling doesn't make it soggy. While the base is baking in the oven, we'll start on the filling. We'll lightly fry the already sliced brisket in a pan. We've smoothly moved on to the filling mixture. I took a mortar, added a little salt, because my brisket is already salty. Plus the cheese is salty, so I don't need much. I take about 8 whole peppercorns and quickly crush them with the pestle. You don't need to grind it into dust. I want the pepper to be crushed, so that you can still see some pieces. Pay attention to what we've got here. And I needed the salt, not to make the dish saltier, but I use it as an abrasive to crush the black pepper. For the filling, we will need 5 eggs. Cream with 20% fat content. Mix well using a whisk. For the filling, we use cheese and bacon. but you can add broccoli, for example, or onion, leek. It's all up to you. Transfer the fried bacon to a strainer to let the excess fat drain off. We wait for the crust to come out of the oven and start combining all the ingredients. We took the crust out of the oven and we removed the salt. Just like that. Onto a plate. We won't need it today. We sprinkle half of the bacon, also 50% of the cheese, then bacon again, pour in the rest, and the remaining cheese goes into the quiche. With the help of a ladle, carefully add the filling. Make sure the filling isn't too full. Leave about half a centimeter because it will rise during cooking. Put it in the oven for 35 to 40 minutes at 180 degrees until it gets a nice golden color. Friends, this is the beauty we get. Let it cool down a bit so the filling can set, and then we can start tasting. The quiche has cooled, the filling has set, and we're ready to taste it. It's time to take out a piece. How good is it? Take a look at what it looks like inside. Friends, I can't wait to try it and see what we've got. You know, just visually, I feel like it needs a bit of sour cream, but I'm deliberately not adding it so I can see how good the quiche is on its own. I'll break off a piece and most likely put it in my mouth. What can I say? The smokiness comes from the brisket, the creaminess from the filling, and the dough is crispy and crumbly. Well, what could be even better? This is incredibly delicious. I can also taste the saltiness from the cheese. I have formed a picture. This is worth trying. Friends, before I say goodbye to you, I would like to remind you that you can purchase these forms by following the link in the description. Also, subscribe to the Pasha Bakci community on social networks to learn more about the assortment and get useful tips. Well, I'll say goodbye to you now. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and don't be afraid to experiment.